You are scrolling away your life because your brain is terrified of your own potential. Your chronic laziness isn't a flaw, it is a predictable trap calculated by physics. If you don't break this hidden loop today, your biggest dreams will officially turn into lifelong regrets. Let's be completely honest with ourselves for a second. You have massive, undeniable dreams and you are terrified of wasting your potential. Yet day after day, you watch your goals dissolve into the exact same paralyzing cycle of chronic laziness. Welcome to Less is More. Dissect what is truly sabotaging your mind. You know precisely what you should be doing right now, but a heavy, invisible weight forces you to escape into cheap dopamine instead. This creates a toxic, lingering guilt that slowly hardens into quiet acceptance, rolling the exact same unfulfilled ambitions over year after year. Most productivity advice tells you to just delete apps, but that is a lie. It only treats the shallow symptoms. Before we expose the radical physics-backed secret that actually forces your brain to take massive action, hit that subscribe button to support our journey toward deep, intentional growth. To pull yourself out of that frustrating cycle, we have to look past the surface and diagnose the true, invisible force holding you back. In physics, Newton's first law states that an object at rest will naturally stay at rest unless an external force acts upon it. And this concept of inertia describes your mind perfectly. When you sit frozen at your desk, you aren't actually broken. You are simply trapped by psychological inertia. Every time you face a massive task, your brain instantly calculates the sheer volume of energy required to kickstart the engine from zero. Because our minds are biologically wired to avoid perceived pain and preserve energy, the brain senses that heavy barrier and panics. It subtly misleads you into retreating toward immediate comfort, forcing you to escape through a screen just to hunt for cheap, effortless dopamine. Chronic laziness isn't a permanent character flaw or a reflection of your worth. It is a predictable reaction to an oversized mental barrier, meaning that to finally change your life, you don't need more guilt. You just need a smarter way to break the physics of inertia. Once you realize that inertia is the true enemy, the secret isn't to fight it with raw willpower, but to ruthlessly lower the activation energy required to move. We struggle because we constantly trick ourselves into believing that we have to conquer the entire mountain in a single massive leap. When you look at a daunting 5,000-word essay or a chaotic room, the sheer weight of the expectation creates a paralyzing friction in your mind. To bypass this biological survival mechanism, you must deliberately shrink the stakes until your brain no longer perceives the task as a threat. If writing a whole chapter feels like staring into a painful void, give yourself permission to just write one single sentence. If learning a complex instrument terrifies you, commit to practicing just one chord for the day. By prioritizing raw progress over an impossible standard of perfection, you strip away the heavy emotional resistance. You aren't lowering your standards. You are strategically outsmarting your defense mechanisms to take that one essential frictionless step forward. As you master the art of lowering the stakes, you unlock a beautiful psychological loophole. Once an object is in motion, it naturally wants to stay in motion. This is where we transition from merely starting a task to building a wave of unstoppable momentum. By applying the 2-minute rule, you make a simple pact with yourself to work for just 2 tiny minutes, knowing you have complete permission to stop the moment the timer rings. If you need to clean a chaotic space, put on your favorite track, clean until the music fades, and walk away. But what you will quickly discover is that the hardest part was always the transition. Once you are moving, your brain drops its defense mechanisms and the work starts rolling downhill on its own. To protect this hard-earned momentum, stop burning through your limited daily supply of willpower and start designing automated, friction-free routines. Drop your running shoes right beside your bed so they become a physical trigger the second your feet touch the floor. These environmental changes build structural training wheels, allowing your daily habits to run on autopilot without needing an ounce of mental strain. When you stop fighting your environment and start designing it, you finally realize that lasting change was never about achieving flawless perfection. It is entirely about building radical, unapologetic consistency. Every time your brain hesitates or stumbles at the starting line, Do not view it as a personal failure. See it as a beautiful, necessary friction where growth takes root. The people who achieve great things are not superhuman. They simply understand that a roaring fire always begins with a single, fragile spark. Stop waiting for a perfect moment that will never arrive. Pick just one micro step, commit to your first 2 minutes right now, and keep the momentum alive. Your dreams are waiting on the other side of that initial push. Go make them happen. Ultimately, breaking the cycle of procrastination isn't a battle of sheer force. It is an exercise in tactical psychology. The profound lesson here is that your mind is not inherently flawed or permanently lazy. It is simply operating under the natural laws of psychological inertia. If you treat every ambition like a massive mountain to conquer in a single leap, your brain will consistently choose the survival mechanism of avoidance and retreat into cheap comfort. To apply this to your life today, you must shift your entire focus from the grandiosity of perfection to the radical simplicity of momentum. When a task feels too heavy, ruthlessly shrink it down until it feels completely non-threatening to your ego. Write that single sentence, clean for just 2 minutes, or place your tools exactly where you can see them to eliminate the friction of starting. By consistently securing these effortless, microscopic wins, you gradually build a wave of unstoppable momentum that eventually carries you toward your biggest dreams. What is one micro task or tiny habit you are going to commit to doing for just 2 minutes right after this video ends? Please share your thoughts in the comment section below so we can all learn from each other and build this momentum together. If you found value in this deep dive, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to support our journey and help us bring you more insightful content in the future.